Hello friends, welcome to Civil Dunia. This is module 3 of entrepreneurship development. In this video, we will going to learn chapter 1 of module 3 under which we will cover topic need to know about accounting, working capital management, and in further videos we will going to study marketing management, human resource management and labor laws, and in chapter 3 of this module and in chapter 3 we will going to learn organizational support services, central and state government incentives and subsidies. So let's get started with chapter 1 of module 3. What is business accounting? Accounting is the process by systematically recording, analyzing, and interpreting your business financial information. Business owners use accounting to track their financial operations, meet legal obligations, and make stronger business decisions. Accounting is a necessary part of running a business. It is a task you will either need to master or outsource, or both. Let's ease into the topic by first reviewing accounting terminology. First is business accounting basics. Regardless of who manages your business accounting, it is wise to understand accounting basics. If you can read and prepare these basic documents, you will understand your business performance and financial health. As a result, you will have greater control of your company and financial decisions. An income statement. Income statement is in which shows the company's profitability and tells you how much money your business has made or lost. A balance sheet, which is a snapshot of our business financial standing at a single point in time. A balance sheet will also show you your business retained earnings, which is the amount of profit that you have reinvested in your business rather than being distributed to shareholders. A profit and loss statement, which is a snapshot of our business income and expressing during a given time period. Example, quarterly, monthly or yearly. This calculation will also be reflected on your business schedule C tax document. A cash flow statement is in which analyzes our business operating, financing and investing activities to show how and where you are receiving and spending money. A bank reconciliation a bank reconciliation compares our cash expenditures with your overall bank statements and helps keep your business records consistent. This is the process of reconciling your book balance to your book balance of cash. Accounting ratio is the comparison of two or more financial data which are used for analyzing the financial statements of companies. It is an effective tool used by the shareholders, creditors, and all kinds of stakeholders to understand the profitability, strength, and financial status of companies. This is also widely known as financial ratios based on which business performance can be monitored and important business decisions are made. Accounting ratios classified into the following categories. First one is liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio helps in measuring the cash efficiency of an enterprise to pay off its short-term liabilities. A high liquidity ratio ensures the company is in a good position to pay its creditors. The liquid ratio of 2 or more is considered acceptable. Second one is profitability ratio. Profitability ratio is generally used to determine how well the business is generating profits from its operations. Profit is the balance of income earned after deducting all related expenses. Third one is leverage ratio. Leverage ratio measures the utilization of borrowed money by the business. It helps to identify the financial stability of the business by analyzing the total debt of the company. Fourth one is activity ratio. Activity ratio indicates the return generated from a particular type of asset using the sales, cost, and asset data. This ratio helps the business to identify effective utilization of the assets and thereby facilitates efficient management. All these types of ratios are used for monitoring the business performance and comparing the business result with competitors. Accounts receivable and accounts payable. Accounts receivable is money that people owe you for goods and services. It is considered an asset on your balance sheet. Accounts payable is money that you owe other people and is considered a liability on your balance sheet. Accruals. Accruals are credits and debits that you have recorded but not yet fulfilled. These could be sales you have completed but not yet collected payment on, or expenses you have made but not yet paid for. Third one is assets. Assets are everything that your company owns, tangible and intangible. Your assets could include cash, tools, property, copyrights, patents, and trademarks. Burn rate. Your burn rate is how quickly your business spends money. It is a critical component when calculating and managing your cash flow. To calculate your burn rate, simply pick a time period such as a quarter or a year, subtract your on hand cash amount at the end of that period from your on hand cash at the beginning. Then divide that number by the number of months in the period or by your chosen uh, cadence. Fifth one is capital. Capital refers to the money you have to invest or spend on growing your business, commonly referred to as working capital. Capital refers to funds that can be assessed, that is, cash in the bank, and does not include assets or liabilities. Sixth one is cost of goods sold. The cost of goods sold, COGS, or cost of sales, COS, is the cost of producing your product or delivering your service. COGS or COS is the first expense you will see on your profit and loss statement and is a critical component when calculating your business gross margin. Reducing your COGS can help you increase profit without increasing sales. Seventh one is depreciation. Depreciation refers to the decrease in your assets values over time. It is important for tax purposes as longer assets that impact your business ability to make money can be written off based on their depreciation. Eighth one is equity. Equity refers to the amount of money invested in a business by its owners. It is also known as owner's equity and can include things of non monetary value such as time, energy, and other resources. Ever heard of sweat equity? Equity can also be defined as the difference between your business asset, what you own, and liabilities, what you owe. A business with healthy equity is attractive to potential investors, lenders, and buyers. Investors and analysts also look at your business EBITDA, which stands for earning before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Expenses. Expenses include any purchases you make or money you spend in an effort to generate revenue. Expenses are also referred to as the cost of doing business. There are four main types of expenses, although some expenses fall into more than one category. Fixed expenses are consistent expenses like rent or salaries. These expenses are not typically affected by company sales or market trends. Variable expenses fluctuate with company performance and production like utilities and raw materials. Accrued expenses are single expenses that have been recorded or reported but not yet paid. These would fall under accounts payable as we discussed above. Operating expenses are necessary for a company to do business and generate revenue, like rent, utilities, payroll, and utilities. Fiscal year. A fiscal year is the time period a company uses for accounting. The start and end dates of your fiscal year are determined by your company. Some coincide with the calendar year, while others vary based on when accountants can prepare financial statements. GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, otherwise known as GAAP, refers to the widely accepted guidelines for accounting and financing reporting. GAAP compliance is especially important for publicly traded companies as many investors and lenders also rely on GAAP compliant reporting when making their decisions. 12th is liabilities. Liabilities are everything that your company owes in the long or short term. Your liabilities could include a credit card balance, payroll taxes, or a loan. Profit. In accounting terms, profit or the bottom line is the difference between your income, COGS, and expenses, including operating, interest, and depreciation expenses. You or your business are taxed on your net profit, so it is important proactively plan for your tax liability. Do this by staying on top of your net profit amount, setting aside some of your revenue in a separate savings account, or paying your estimated taxes every quarter like employer withholding. 14th, 14th point is revenue. Your revenue is the total amount of money you collect in exchange for your goods or services before any expenses are taken out. Fifth term is gross margin. Gross margin or gross income, which is your total sales minus your COGS. This number indicates your business sustainability. How to do accounting for small business? Okay. First one is open a business bank account linked to all points of sale. Second is itemize all expenses by department. Third is adhere to all income, employment, and excise taxes. Fourth is set up a payroll system. Fifth one is identify the right payment gateway for your needs. Sixth one is understand the tax obligations for your type of business. Seventh is regularly review and evaluate your process. Eighth is consult with a professional or CPA. What is working capital management? Okay, we will study about working capital management. Working capital management is a business strategy designed to ensure that a company operates efficiently by monitoring and using its current assets and liabilities to the best effect. The primary purpose of working capital management is to enable the company to maintain sufficient cash flow to meet to meet its short-term operating costs and short-term debt obligations. A company's working capital is made up of its current assets minus its current liabilities. Understanding working capital management. Current assets include anything that can be easily converted into cash within 12 months. These are the company's highly liquid assets. Some current assets include cash, accounts receivable, inventory, and short-term investments. Key takeaways are working capital management requires monitoring a company's assets and liabilities to maintain sufficient cash flow. The strategy involves tracking three ratios: the working capital ratio, the collection ratio, and the inventory ratio. Third key is keeping those three ratios at optimal levels ensures efficient working capital management. Current liabilities are any obligations due within the following 12 months. These include operating expenses and long term debt payments. Working capital management is the process of managing the short-term assets and liabilities to ensure the company has adequate liquidity to operate smoothly. Working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. Working capital deficiency can be measured by certain ratios. Some of the measures used in estimating the efficiency of working capital management include current ratio, days of payables outstanding, days of inventory outstanding, days of sales outstanding, etc. If the working capital is managed efficiently, the business will be able to free up cash to pay debts or for reinvestments. Working capital can be divided into two main categories. First one is based on capital. There are several subcategories under this. First one is gross working capital and second one is net working capital. And the second category of working capital is based on time period, under which there are again two categories which are fixed working capital and variable working capital. Now we will going to study about gross working capital. Gross working capital is the total amount available for financing of current assets. However, it does not reveal the true financial position of an enterprise. Gross working capital is equal to total current assets. Net working capital. The net working capital is an accounting concept which represents the excess of current assets over current liabilities. Current assets consist of items such as cash, bank balance, stock, debtors, bills, receivables, etc. And current liabilities include items such as bills, payables, creditors, etc. Excess of excess of current assets over current liabilities does indicates the liquid position of an enterprise. Net working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. Net working the ratio of 2 is to 1 between current assets and current liabilities is considered as optimal or sound. Now we will study fixed working capital. The amount of funds needed for meeting requirements normally varies from time to time in every business. However, business always needs a certain amount of assets in the form of working capital if it is to carry out of its functions. A part of the investments in current assets is as permanent as the investment in fixed assets. It covers the minimum amount necessary for maintaining the circulation of the current assets. Working capital invested in the circulation of the current assets and keeping it moving is permanently locked up. The permanent or fixed working capital is of two kinds. First one is regular working capital. It is the minimum amount of liquid capital required to keep up the circulation of the capital from cash to inventories to receivables and back again to cash. This should include a sufficient amount of cash to maintain reasonable quantities of raw materials for processing into finished goods to ensure quick delivery, etc. Second one is reserve margin or cushion working capital. It is extra capital required to meet unforeseen contingencies that may arise in future. These contingencies may crop up on account of rise in prices, business depression, strikes, lockouts, fires, and unexpected competition. It is needed over and above the regular working capital requirements. Variable working capital. The variable working capital fluctuates with the volume of business. It may be subdivided into first one is seasonal working capital. It refers to liquid capital needed needed during the particular season. According to Justin Berg, beyond initial and regular working capital, most business will require at stated intervals a large amount of current assets to fill the demands of the signal busy periods. During the season, the business enterprise have to push up purchase of raw materials like sugarcane by sugar mills, wool by woolen mills, and employ more people to convert them into finished goods and thus require large amount of working capital. Second one is special working capital. It is that part of the variable capital which is needed for financing special operations such as the organization of special campaigns for increasing sales through advertisement or other sale promotion activities, for conducting research experiments, for execution of special orders of government that will have to be financed by additional working capital. Ratio analysis. Working capital management commonly involves monitoring cash flow, current assets, and current liabilities through ratio analysis of the key elements of operating expenses, including the working capital ratio, collection ratio, and inventory turnover ratio. Working capital management helps maintain the smooth operation of the net operating cycle, also known as the cash conversion cycle (CCC). The minimum amount of time required to convert net current assets and liabilities into cash. Benefits of working capital management. Working capital management can improve a company's earnings and profitability through efficient use of its resources. Management of working capital includes inventory management as well as management of accounts receivables and accounts payables. The objectives of working capital management, in addition to ensuring that the company has enough cash to cover its expenses and debt, for minimizing the cost of money spent on working capital and maximizing the return on asset investments. Types of working capital management ratios. There are three ratios that are important in working capital management: the working capital ratio or current ratio, the working capital ratio or current ratio, the collection ratio, and the inventory turnover ratio. Working capital management aims at more efficient use of a company's resources. The working capital ratio or current ratio is calculated as current assets divided by current liabilities. It is a key indicator of a company's financial health as it demonstrates its ability to meet its short-term financial obligations. Although numbers vary by industry, a working capital ratio below 1 generally indicates that a company is having trouble meeting its short-term obligations. That is, the company's debts due to the upcoming year would not be covered by its liquid assets. In this case, the company may have to resort to selling of assets, securing long-term debt, or using other financial options to cover its short-term debt obligations. Working capital ratios of 1.2 to 2 are considered desirable, but a ratio higher than 2 may suggest that the company is not effectively using its assets to increase revenues. A high ratio may indicate that the company is not securing financial appropriately or managing its working capital efficiently. The collection ratio. The collection ratio is a measure of how efficiently a company manages its accounts receivables. The collection ratio is calculated as the product of the number of days in an accounting period multiplied by the average amount of outstanding accounts receivables divided by the total amount of net credit sales during the accounting period. The collection ratio calculation provides the average number of days it takes a company to receive payments after a sales transaction on credit. If a company's billing department is effective at collections attempts and customers pay their bills on time, the collection ratio will be lower. The lower a company's collection ratio, the more efficient its cash flow. The inventory turnover ratio. The final element of working capital management is inventory management. To operate with maximum efficiency and maintain a comfortably high level of working capital, A company must keep sufficient inventory on hand to meet customers' needs while avoiding unnecessary inventory that ties up working capital. Companies typically measure how efficiently that balance is maintained by monitoring the inventory turnover ratio. The inventory turnover ratio, calculated as revenue divided by inventory cost, reveals how rapidly a company's inventory is being sold and replenished. A relatively low ratio compared to industry peers indicates inventory levels are excessively high, while a relatively high ratio may indicate inadequate inventory levels. If you want to download the PDF of this video, please visit our Telegram channel Civil Dunya. If you gain some knowledge from this video, please like it and subscribe this channel for more civil engineering related videos and to continue the series on entrepreneurship development. So stay tuned with this channel. Thanks for watching.